just love me, yeah, I know.
Fantastic. Look at all you guys. This is awesome. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to start out this morning asking you a question. You ready? It's a big question. Can you think of something that's really, really big? Can you guys think of something really, really big? What's something that's big? Space Needle is big. Yes. What else is big? The whole world. That's pretty big. Yep, that's big. The Empire State Building is big. You guys are thinking even bigger than I was. I was thinking like elephants, and you're talking the world. Yeah, those are really big things, aren't they? What would you do if those big things broke? Cry, yeah. Try to build a different big thing. Do you think they'd be easy to fix? If a big thing breaks, is it really easy to fix, or is it kind of hard? No, it's kind of hard. Then we have what we call a big problem, right? Then we have a big problem. I ask that because in our story today that I'm going to read after we're done with this, it's a story about Jesus, and Jesus has some big problems. First is, they're out in the middle of the wilderness, and there aren't any restaurants, and there aren't any towns, and you know what they don't have? Food. They don't have any food. And they're trying to figure out how they're going to feed 5,000 people. And all they have is a little bit of bread and a couple of fish. So that's the first big problem. Then Jesus' disciples decide to go out in the boat to cross the lake without Jesus. They just leave him there and they go off rowing in the water all by themselves. And so how's Jesus supposed to get back to the disciples? That's kind of our second problem. He's got to figure out how to get to the disciples. Do you think you could solve those two problems? Could you feed 5,000 people in the middle of nowhere? That'd be hard, wouldn't it? And if people on the boat left without you and got out to the middle of the lake, do you think it'd be easier for you to get out there? You swim. Yeah. It's 4 miles. 4 miles to the middle of the lake. That's a long ways. That's a super long ways. And yet, in the midst of all of that, Jesus managed to make big things happen. We hear in our story that though there wasn't much food, there were 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, which is actually what that's a symbol of right there. 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. From those 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, Jesus fed 5,000 people. But not just that, when they were all done, they took baskets around because there were so many leftovers. They filled 12 baskets with bread and fish. That's more than they started with. And that was just the leftovers. When God got involved in our problem, there was a way through it. And then, when the disciples were out on the water, you know what else happened? They got into a storm. The waves got big and the wind got big and Jesus wasn't with them. And in the midst of that storm, what do you think Jesus did? He walked on the water to where the boat was. And when he got to them, suddenly they were on the shore on the other side of the lake. And they were safe. When God got involved in the big problem of how to be with the disciples and how to deal with the boat being gone and Jesus was able to do that. Sometimes we have really big problems in our lives. Adults, ever have big problems in your life? Put your hands up so the kids can see your hands. Yeah, look at that. Every single adult in this room just put their hands in. We all have big problems. And sometimes we think they're too big. I can't do anything. They're too big. I can't do anything. And what our story is helping us remember today is that no matter how big the problem, when we remember to trust in Jesus, we know that God will take care of things. It may not be always how we understand it, but God is always with us, taking care of us, and helping us deal with the big things. So we should remember in those big problem moments that we should stop, and we should pray, and we should remember the gift that God has given us. Okay? Let's say a prayer. Are you ready? Dear Jesus, thank you for showing us how to invite you into our big problems, knowing that you will help. Amen. Thanks for coming up.